Hello and welcome to another week of Sambo iRacing. We're back in the Mazda MX5 or the Miata for you North Americans for yet another track guide. This time it's Circuit De Ledenon. It's a really tricky technical track and there aren't that many places to overtake, so qualifying is going to be important this week. Get your practice in nice and early. If you are new to my channel, what we do is a hot lap, a breakdown lap, and then we're back in the cockpit one final time with the driving line on. Right, let's get the lap started. Okay, hot lap time. So coming up the hill, we change into fourth gear before we turn in. We start a lift at that first apex and we're just feathering the brake and the throttle, trying to get out to the nice wide entry into turn 3 here. In second gear, up the hill, from the corner, up to third gear, looking for the braking zone, braking up to about 75%, trailing it off, down to first gear. Hook those wheels on the inside, get on the gas nice and early, building up on the power as you can see, looking at the telemetry graphs, up to third gear, braking, back down to first gear, on the gas, back at the apex, again building up nice and gradually, sorting out any oversteer on exit, cutting this corner, flat out, up to third gear, just doing a lift and now back on, nice and flat, braking hard, all the way down to first gear, again hooking those tyres, back up the hill. Draw braking's key around here. We're going to go third gear and we're going to go flat out through this corner. Now we're going to straighten our wheel, brake. It's gradual braking. Consistent but low pressure. Down to first gear. Back up through the gears. We're going to go flat here through turn 13. Squaring the car up into 14. Down to first gear nice and early, getting on the gas. Using the exit and then back over to the left-hand side to shorten the track as best as possible. Oof, it's tiring work. And over and across the line in a 1 minute. 33.142. Right, breakdown lap coming up. Okay, let's do the hot lap. So as I say, we're up to fourth. We get to where these cones are and that's when we start turning in. I'm going to go flat all the way to this first apex. Now, as we get here, we're going to get on the brakes up to about 15%, 20% there or thereabouts. We're just dropping it down to third gear, as you can see, and we're just feathering a bit of blip of throttle there just to get us nice and wide for the entry into 3. A little dab on the brakes, drop it down to second gear. Now, make sure that you can get nice and inside to cut this corner, getting on the gas as early as possible. Cutting this corner here, turn 4, up to third gear. Now it's quite a tricky one as to the braking marker here. So I always talk about the elbow in the white line up ahead. So as you can see, this little elbow in it, or where it sort of sticks out to the right-hand side, that's going to be our braking marker. I'm going to brake up to about 75%, drop it down to second gear. I'm going to trail it off down to the apex, dropping it down to first gear. Now building back up on the power, trying to get nice and solid, back up to 100% as we leave the curb. Back over to the right-hand side, up to second gear, up to third. Now again, as with all the other cars, there's no real easy way to describe where the braking marker is here. You just have to get a feel for it. But it's exactly where I've stopped just now. This is where we get on the brakes. We're braking here again up to about 75%, getting most of the speed wiped off in the straight line. Then we start trailing it off as we turn in towards the corner. Drop it down to second, drop it down to first. Getting back on the gas as soon as possible. Exit nice and wide, keeping those left-hand tyres on the track. Up to second gear. We're going to cut this corner, keeping our right-hand tyre on the track. Left-hand one doesn't matter. Flat out up over that hill, up to third gear. Now our lift marker and our turn in is going to be the end of this access road that you can see on the left-hand side before the gravel starts. So as we get there, we're going to do a big lift down to almost nothing, down to what's that, 9%. Now as we leave the apex, we're going to get back on the gas, back up to 100%. Your car's going to be a little bit squirrely around here, so just be aware of it. Our braking marker is going to be midway between these two, I don't know, water grids, whatever you call them. I don't know, I've been drinking. So we're going to brake up to about 85%, as you can see there. Wiping off all that speed, drop it down to second, trail it off down to the apex, dropping it down to first, holding it at around 2/3 gas pressure, then getting on to 100% as soon as we can. Back over to the right-hand side. We're in second gear. We're going to change up to third gear. We're going to start our turn in, and we're going to go flat out in third gear over this curb at turn 10. Now, as we straighten the car's wheel rim here, we're going to brake up to about 45%. And again, we're just going to hold it now around 30, then 20, then 10. We're just so it's not heavy braking, but it's consistency of braking. Dropping it down to second gear, dropping it down to first, feeling for that power coming back on again. We're flat out all the way down the hill now, going down through the gears, making sure that we're really cutting this corner. We're going to leave it in third gear. And what we're going to do, our braking marker again, yeah, it's nearly as we get to this edge of the track on the right-hand side. We're going to brake in a straight line as best as possible, up to nearly 90%, 95%. Drop it down to second, drop it down to first. Now we're looking to get back on the power at the apex here, so nearly on full power. I hit full power just as I leave the curb. Allows me to exit nice and wide. And there we have it, up the hill. And across the line. So what did I say it was? Was it 133.142? Right, we've got the driving line version coming up next. As always, thanks for your continued support. I've been Sambo iRacing, and I'll see you guys in the week. Cheers.